everyone, we are back, Muffin and I, for chapter 10, which is The Secret is Out. Now, you'll notice this time there are no biscuits for bribery. It's her exercise time. So we've got some of her toys here, which if she gets restless and she doesn't want to sit around, I'm going to make her run. Okay, these are her morning toys. She's supposed to run, pick it up, bring it back because she's putting on a bit too much of weight. Okay, and we are locked down now, so she's not getting her exercise. So the secret is out. What secret? That Bando, the dog, was a cartoonist. Okay. The silence stretched on for so long that Mrs. Murthy nervously cried out. Remember, Mrs. Murthy can't see, so she didn't know what the silence was about. Bando, you're there, aren't you? You're all right, I hope. Bando was forced to reply, but all he could say was, I'm fine, Mrs. Murthy, in such a dejected voice, it got the old lady more worried. Bando Baba, you come here. Now, let me check if you're hurt. The expression on poor Bando's face could only be described as hangdog. Have you heard that expression? Hangdog? It usually means when you're feeling guilty, like your guilt shows on your face, and dogs can't hide their guilt when they've done something naughty. They look like, I'm sorry, I did something naughty. They have that look. So hangdog means like looking guilty. While a worried Mrs. Murthy nervously ran her fingers over her beloved dog, searching for hidden bites or lumps, the two men had gotten quite excited by the drawings strewn all over the floor. Remember, Bando had got inspired and had been churning out pictures of Anna, Chinnathambi's brother. Muffin, you go get dish and come. Go. Finally, after Mrs. Murthy had calmed down, the older of the two men cleared his throat and said, So you are Bando, is it? By any chance, do you sign your name as Bando Murthy? Sign his name? Mrs. Murthy squeaked and burst out laughing. Mr. Editor, my Bando is the most talented dog in the world, but I don't think his talents include writing and signing, she added, giving an embarrassed Bando a tight hug. Bando was looking so uncomfortable that if a vet had been present, he might have thought the poor dog had mumps. The men smiled and exchanged glances before the editor said, Mrs. Murthy, I don't think you're aware of just how talented your dog is. I don't know why he's kept it a secret from you, but here he turned and gave Bando a questioning look. But Bando Murthy, as he's known to all of Bangalore, is the city's most loved cartoonist. Of course, they don't know that he's a Labrador. Of course, the editor doesn't know that Bando's not a full Labrador. He's only half a Labrador. Cartoonist, Mrs. Murthy shrieked. My Bando Baba! She roared with laughter and sank into a chair. Listen, I might be blind, but we won't go into the details of what happened, but the gist of it was that the two men, one the editor of the City Times and the other the paper's staff photographer, explained to a stunned Mrs. Murthy the story of how Bando had managed to become famous without meeting anybody from the paper. Naturally, the old lady was completely confused. On the one hand, her love for Bando was so much she was willing to attribute any talent to him. If somebody walked in and told her that her doggy had just cured a patient of some terrible disease, she'd be sure to nod her head proudly and say, I always knew he had it in him. On the other hand, not being able to see made this cartoonist story somewhat difficult to believe. The men finally left. Bando managed to extract a promise from them that they'd never reveal his true identity to the public. He, in turn, agreed to continue cartooning for the City Times. He even agreed to have his interview printed in the paper. The public just wouldn't realize that it was a dog that had been interviewed. Not that the editor was disappointed at discovering the true identity of his star cartoonist. On the contrary, he felt that Bando's sheer dogginess would make him an international star. But the publicity, the reporters and the autograph seekers would simply ruin the peace that Mrs. Murthy and Bando so clearly needed. And as Bando pointed out, if he became a busy celebrity, who would look after Mrs. Murthy? Right? Now we'll see what happens in the next chapter. Bye-bye.